Okay, so it's like 6 in the morning. I'm starting late and I feel so exhausted. It was one of those where it's just like I can't wake up. I swear to God, it feels drugged. I don't care how wacky it sounds. We went out yesterday for a walk, and I mean, I'm not like I feel like shit for however many days. And it rained again yesterday, and then it did go sunny later in the afternoon. But I think they do that to draw people out, to get them to come out and breathe this shit in. I just can't even believe how everything looks like it's sprayed with Roundup right now. It just looks so unnatural. It's just so odd. It's just like, what is people's reality? Do you notice? Like, what do you notice? It's the weirdest fucking thing. So, let me think, because I feel really tired and out of it. But when we went out for the walk, it was the same fucking thing. Stella would be just standing out there. I swear to God, I'm bad with time. I'm working on my patience. But she tests them, I'll tell you that. And I swear to God, she will stand there and sniff a spot for goddamn 10 minutes. It's probably 5 minutes, maybe 3. I don't know, but it feels like it's forever. And I can go into another world and come back and she's still doing it. It's just like, oh my God. And so I was standing there and she was sniffing one of her early spots, because she has the same spots that she has to sniff regularly. And same grass she has to eat regularly. And she did try and be on better behavior yesterday, because she did try and pull and go run up to the fence to go look for Alfie. And I told her no, and I yanked back. And so she didn't. But fuck, I have been drug around so much. I'm sure there's neighbors just sit and laugh at me. Okay, especially these men. Oh, she's got way too much dog for her to handle. It's like, but it's to each his own. And I can't worry about that. It doesn't matter. People can laugh at me. People can think I'm over muscled or whatever. But I also feel protected and safe. And I have a great relationship with her. I mean, here she is, right here. right here. Oh, I should lit some incense. Dang it. Gotta think ahead of these things. So anyways, when I was standing out there and she was sniffing, it's weird. It's like you just will feel, I don't know, I think you'd have to have done drugs before, I mean, you could have it happen and maybe you would just all of a sudden think like you felt dizzy, or you felt, but it's like this thing in your head, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's this thing happens in your head, and it like opens or relaxes or something. But then yesterday I spent most of the day crocheting. I finished this one. I'm almost done with a couple of hats, but I like one of them so much I'm keeping one of them, and I'm redoing another one for my granddaughter, because every time I put it on I was like, oh my God, I love this hat. So I'm gonna wear it out places. I think it's cute as shit. And so but I'm making my granddaughters each one too. Oh, and they were having some internal troubles yesterday in the family unit with some young girls' choices. And the thing is like, we've all got to realize what this world is, like what we're bringing these kids up in. And we got to cut them some slack, I feel like. And we got to be more understanding as to what they're going through, But anyways, it's not my stuff to deal with. So that's nice. It's not my problems. It's not my lessons. I put out the energy I put out, and I have the attitude I have, and I support what I support. And so, I don't have to go and micromanage everybody in the, who has time for that? Like, I know that there's moms out there who do that, and they just wipe themselves out. People just don't realize that what they're trying to control is just wiping your own energy out. I gotta turn this down or something. I feel like I gotta keep sitting way up, and I feel like I'm sinking down. This new setup thing, I was looking on there yesterday for a different one. I'm gonna order a different one, but it still seems like it's this, all of them have this weird wire thing that goes up into the middle of the thing. And my other one was down below it, so the light was above it. So this is just weird. It's like this light going around. And it's so dark. You can see how dark it is. It hasn't been getting light until like 8:30 or 9. It's ridiculous. And then I don't even know when's daylight savings time. Like, I don't get what the fuck that there's even, because I know some of it is them doing shit in their habitat, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's not like you can just pin it on one thing, you know? It's like multiple things going on. And, but I definitely feel like in my area, I have said for like in a couple years now that I feel like they're doing some sort of a poisoning thing in my area that is like, it's just a test, they test. And so whatever they're testing, then we are the perfect subjects to test on. People don't have a lot of money. People, Washington State, people are so compliant with everything. And, I thought a really good point as to what I've been saying about this soft moral evacuation that they have going. In California, they've just turned the heat up again. They've come up with 4 new laws or something now where the government can go in and take your kids, have access to your kids. And, it's all about this. You allow the kids to change their gender. It's more like push the kids to change their gender. It's like, we're busy programming here. You won't, you gave birth to them, now back off. Like, they still have the same idea that we're all lab babies. They still think they have ownership over everybody. And they're probably tracking us. And there's way more to the data and the tracking, I think. And a weird thing, too, I've seen a couple of weird things about the sound thing. So it's still going on. You still have groups of people who are trying to show something happened. So I don't know if they're just looking and looking and looking or what, but there's a few different weird things like in different places. One thing was when it went, this whole swarm of something came out of the sky, some kind of, if it was mosquitoes, a huge swarm came down into this place. And one, there's things changing on people's bodies, like things are happening to their bodies. And one guy felt like he had superpowers afterwards. And so I don't know, but it's going to be different for everybody. See, that's how they get everything. And they have, and it's not like personally targeting you. I mean, they could personally target me just because they would want to shut me up, but instead I'm just restricted. I'm just held back. And to me, that goes along with what my guides tell me about what's about to go on when things flip. And so, we got to see how it goes. I'll tell the truth. What they tell me, I won't make it up. I won't say, well, they told me this and this happened. No, I'll tell you what they told me, and I'll tell you how accurate it is when it happens. And so let me think. So it's like they target certain things in DNA. And you got to think about, one thing is kind of like, I think humans were made in the humanoid was kind of made geared more towards like not all of the beings are humanoids. But that has been a thing on this planet. Like, it's really, if you follow the history stuff and everything, it is almost like everything was super giant, but it's the expression it's the expression of it, of the change. It's not like it's a natural expression of change, of like everything was giant and then it went down to smaller, and then it's probably going to go up to where we are a lot more gianter. Like, I don't know how this is all going to go about this changing into our light bodies and whatnot. I just know, as for me, which it just seems like, that I'm just ahead of people in this thing because of, whatever, that's my role. And so it seems like to me that it's like you start questioning everything about when you realize you're a hologram, when you realize like that this isn't really real. But it is also, I respect I'm not really sure what Jeremiah was trying to say, but I fully respect the vehicle. I'm always talking about my own mind, body, spirit, and listening to your body. Your body's showing you, it's representing, it's like it's a whole thing. It's picking up the signals of the universe. It is your Merkaba, but it's like dolled up. It's like dressed up for the game. It's like you put on the costume for the game. And so you're in the, like you're in the scenario, in the situation, but the more that you understand that that isn't real, like, I don't know. To me, it really messes with my mind. Like, I have to still feed my body because it still tells me it wants food, and it still wants water. It still wants sleep. It still wants these things. To me, it's like we're transitioning, though, because it's the things like you start thinking about and you start questioning. And then when you start realizing we're going more into this light body thing, so it would be more of us being focused on our energy and pushing out the image. But it won't be so hard to do that because it's been hard to do that because of the density. That's why aliens and multidimensional beings don't just zip in here just willy-nilly, because it's a density. To them, they're a higher vibration. They stay in the higher vibration. They don't go into lower vibration like this. So they can stay more in that light body. And the thing, it seems to me, is like you can make yourself look how you want to look. Like when you, that's why in like the Allison Code things and stuff, she was always saying, all the people were saying that they just look like themselves, but they just look better. Everything about them looks more fit. Everything just looks better. It is because, I think the med beds, but that has to do with vibration too. It's when we get in that vibration, when we heal our minds and we get in that vibration, we can push out and represent ourselves how we want. And we will be able to have, I think so many of us can understand, like we have this magic side to us. We have more control of things than we know we do. But the limitation is this vibration. It's this heaviness. And so, but when it goes up, when the vibration goes up, which it goes up when all of us are going up. Right now, it's like chaotic because there's so much low and high vibration. It's like we're a vibrational war, and where people are like, it's good and evil in this war. And basically, yeah, it's the light and the dark. It's it's the storm. It's why there is storms and stuff. It's the energy. It's this transitional energy. But so when we go into those other ones, like I had heard before, like if the Anunnaki are going to come down and stuff, they're huge. They're giants. And I heard also like the Palladians are way, way bigger than us. So on Earth, as the density, how it was real light before, and it was giant, and the trees were giant, like our land masses are giants that laid down and died and stuff. And it's creepy too, is like when you see these things about like Himalayan salt and all these minerals and stuff that we're taking from the earth, when you take them out and you show them, like this video I had just seen, it was intense. It was like, oh my God, we're living off of someone's body. Like, we are literally living off of dead beings. And but it's in the spiritual sense, like there's so many different gradations of just that information alone, because it's not flesh and blood, but it's a representative of what it all means. It's like everything is a representative, a representation. That's the, like the gradation, the micro, macro. It's everything is that radiation out from that, if you understand what I'm saying. That's where it's like hard, because you can understand if you see the pictures, I think. But that's where I think if you ask your guides, if you start trying to communicate and asking them to explain things to you, you will understand your visuals more. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, it's like, if you think of the earth in the beginning, it was light, and it was huge, and it was massive, and then but there's cycles, there's seasons. And so the cycles and the seasons occur and create change, and things change. And people, like, think of the changes that have occurred to go from living free as just, being as big as everything in your world or something, to be so massive. That would be such an experience on its own, man. But then it like changed and turned, but then people, like, look how they developed into these crazy buildings. Like, when you see these old historic photos and stuff, it's crazy. So it's kind of like it went from a certain experience into a more of a cerebral experience. So if you think about these different, like, ages and experiences and the growth, like what I'm talking about, like, the growth isn't just your own little unique life. That's your soul. But all your stuff, all of our stuff, it's a part of the universe's growth. So it's all super significant. But you see how the ages, the periods of time have the lessons, and then it turns into new lessons, like the age of Leo or something, I think, which, if they already had that, I don't know, because all these different ages and stuff, like, you have to get really into it and look up about it, and I just don't get that into it. I just find it interesting, but it's like I get the overall, but I don't need to see every little detail. But it is what was I going to say? Something about with the lessons, though, that it's like it starts at the beginning, and all the people who go through that lineage, that ancestry, or all the links to the chain to these certain lessons. And so that is how we are the thread of the fabric of the overall of how they say it's like everything is like this giant, beautiful woven blanket. Like, if you were to go to the Akashic Records or something, that is this giant, elaborate, woven blanket of all the information of all of our lives, of every bit of existence. And so there was another thing I was going to say about that I was seeing, is the blanket. But what was that over there? It was someone. Maybe it was something that Mateus DeStefano. I really liked his show. I really recommend watching his show. And it may be like, you know, you have to go really into your, I mean, it may be too much for some people. It all depends on your level of your ability to open your mind. But I love his show, Initiation, on Gaia Channel. Gaia Channel has a lot of good shows. But you still, in every single thing, you still got to always use your internal guidance. You know, how do you feel about it? How do you, you know, what does your soul say about it? And, you know, how reading your gut and stuff, that's important because your body is a part of your experience and you do need to be able to read it. Like, it's like you don't just go out, you just don't get your first sailboat and you just jump in and go out in open water. Like, you know, you learn how to use it and stuff. And that is where, you know, you have a vehicle that we all need to learn how to use. But that's why, to me, from the very start, that they start out trying to teach us wrong, to disconnect us, you know, putting rubber on our feet and stuff. There's something that they're doing from the start. Same thing, you know, damage the hair, damage the pineal gland, keep us not from grounding and stuff. So there's interference the whole time. I just saw this cool video, too, of a bunch of old monkeys, big chimpanzees, being released from a lab. And they had never been outdoors. Oh, it's going to make me cry because I can see them so good. They'd never been outside. And they'd never seen the sky or a tree. Oh my gosh, when it came out, I don't know how people cannot understand these are souls. It's not a separate lower being. And the looks on their faces, they were so, this one turns to look at the other one and just utter amazement and grabs him around the neck and starts hugging him like, oh my God, dude, there was more. It's just, oh my gosh. But, you know, that's kind of what's happening to humanity. You know, just like those cows that had been, you know, and some are scary to come out. Others are so excited. You know, there's a lot of us who are so excited to see, like, fuck, it was so exciting when I saw, because I was really so confused. Like, what is wrong with people? I was just confused all the time. I couldn't understand why people were the way they were, what they were. And it's like, I don't know, especially, there's a lot of things. I mean, so many things are just so confusing. But then once I realized about the programming and indoctrination and stuff, then I was just like, oh, okay. Now, you know, I don't know how they disconnected you from your soul, but that's what they did. And they've been doing it, you know, through it all. The shoes, all of it. So it is, you know, little Indian kids back, native kids that would have been, you know, born to the land and not, you know, in the city weird world that they try to create, is, you know, they had their hair braided from the time it grew. It would have just went braided. So they would have always been receiving, and they are barefoot, running around. Even if they weren't barefoot, that they would use natural skin to protect their feet. But, I mean, I was barefoot. Fuck. I don't know. It took a long time for them to get shoes on me. I was still, I was a 30-year-old adult, even walking around barefoot all the time. And people would be like, there was a lot of things about me where people thought I was so strange. But I was just, you know, I got it. I get it. Like, I got it from the beginning. I got that I was here to experience. Like, there was a lot of things that I understood about life that people didn't understand. But that was where other people would confuse me so much. But that is, you know, I mean, I was under the misconception that everybody had the same kind of guidance as me. that everybody had the same conversations going in their heads. I didn't know everybody was kind of more blindfolded or stuck or something. So I don't know what that's like, that experience. But it is, but I understand, you know, things about like the human condition and stuff. It's like I feel like I've been being trained on this stuff since I was a kid. And so, because even when things were happening to me, it was like, you know, something happened, and then they would talk to me about it and explain things to me. And I always was looking at things in a way more advanced, open, way different. That's another thing that just made me weird. But I didn't know why I was weird to people. I had no idea for so long why I was weird. But anyways, that's the past. That's the old days. I don't, you know, now it's just like I get it more and stuff, but it is, it's just a weird kind of phenomena to experience. That part, that was like the awakening to me. That was like the most significant part to all of my awakening, was to realize this place, the lies, the manipulation, the control. And that, it was, to me, that's what I keep waiting for all of the different people to see. Because when you see, you just start connecting, you know, you start seeing, you know, the interference that was created. That's why I'm saying, like, notice when you're doing things and stuff, just catch yourself so that you can catch yourself in your own toxic behaviors so that you can change them. You know, you figure out, you know, that's where role models come in. Like, I want to be more like that, you know. To me, just, you know, the walking the dog, you know, I stand out there, it drives me fucking crazy. I feel like my head's going to blow off sometimes, and I want to scream, and I want to stomp my feet and drag her and make her go on a walk I want to do. But to go and stand there while she sniffs the same motherfucking things for 5 fucking minutes every day. And then the same fucking questions every day. She starts to pull up and go to somebody's yard. She looks over every day. Nope. Told you can't go in anybody's yard. She comes back. It's like, how many fucking times do we gotta do this? This is such a fucking game. And, you know, it is, you know, annoying as fuck, and it will get me, but that's where I have to work on my patience. But I know that there is not people who do that. They drag their dogs, they don't listen to their dogs, and, you know, their dogs have a totally different experience. And so it has to do with so much of it is like what you're putting out, you know, because the walk is, well, by all appearances, it seems calm. Well, there's times when I've had to, I'm dragging her back in the house when she's tried to do something naughty. But, you know, it seems like I'm calm. If you were to see us out there standing, it would seem like I was calm, but inside I feel like I'm really working on my patience and trying to stay calm. And I just have seen how some of the other people and their dogs and stuff, and just the tension. And then if you make your dog just feel so tense and scared of you, and then it changes the whole energy of your house and stuff. But to me, it's like they give us these opportunities to work on ourselves. But a lot of people, it feels like they don't like those challenges. You know, they don't want to work on themselves. I think that is part of why I, you know, pushed people, because a lot of people don't want to think about the things that I think about and talk about and stuff. There's just so many things that have been coming to my mind lately. It's crazy. But when you have time to see yourself and get to know yourself, and remember yourself, and, you know, where it all went wrong and when you started changing, and, you know, trying to please others. And it's just so weird. I don't know why it just is sticking out to me lately about how I was coming right out and saying I wanted to be in a spiritual relationship. I wanted that to be the focus. And I know at that one, I was 29 years old. I'd already gone through one bad relationship. And that one, my mom, that's when I was in Colorado too. And we met or she was friends with the preacher and the preacher's wife. And it was a tiny, tiny town. And we were all the same age. Well, my mom and I were practically the same age, but we all had kids the same age. My mom and I had daughters a year apart. And her friends, so they all were these three little girls that would do it was cute. So I was involved with them then, but everything I would ask the questions, and all I would ever get back, well, you just gotta believe. It's just like it's this constant mindless, just believe it. You just believe it because they say it. And it's like, yeah, but I don't know. I can't do that. It has to go, it has to go in alignment with my internal guidance. I can't, but that's because I had one so strong. But see, that's where I think why people were just like, go along with whatever you're told, is because you have to be able to have your internal guidance override no matter what. Like my internal guidance has had to override a lot of like group, I don't know, making fun of you. It's just a lot of stuff. So I always go with my internal. But, they were testing me or whatever when I was 3 years old. They were making sure I understood that they were there to help me. And I still know. I know that a lot of people have it. And I think that is the thing, is when you start realizing, and you start realizing that this guidance you have, and that it's time to start listening to it. But it's as you're trying to listen to it is where you'll get the interference, the paradigms, the cage that is built around you. But all of the seeing, the cage that you built around yourself in order to please others and stuff, is you got to see every time you see it is your opportunity to change it. It's your opportunity to transform yourself, to remove your what was the word? It was just in my head. When you're trying to be compliant, when you're trying to be like everybody else so that you can fit in, so that you can be acceptable, so that you can find, people who will like you. I just saw somebody saying one of the biggest triggers for everybody is rejection. And it brings up all different things in people. But, rejection is a horrible thing to feel. And it goes, it probably, I'm sure, goes through all sorts of past lives. It's got a strong hold because, in living in existence, we have been rejected. For God's sakes, I think a lot of people reject themselves. In what this guy was talking to, he was saying about like the language or whatever starts going on in your mind, and you gotta catch those comments in there where they're just like, oh my God, you're so stupid, you're so ugly, God, why would anyone want to be friends with you? God, see, everybody knows you're such an idiot, why'd you even say that? God, you're so stupid. Those kinds of things is where you want to catch yourself, because that's not you. That is a part, that's like one of those facets, but it's not even that. It's kind of like you're the jewel, like you're the gem, and you have all these facets, all these different representations of you as your existence. And then you have inside the driver, the energy that is the driver has like a co-captain. And so your ego has a role. It's like to try and, to watch for things, but it's like protective. But here, the protectiveness also seems to attract a lot of dark energy. So you get, your ego can be inflated. It can, but it's all this dark energy that as you heal or leave behind certain pains, that dark energy that is associated with it drops off of you. That's why you feel like lighter as you heal some of the things. So you can, and that's like the shadow work of your ego. It's this dark matter kind of that is kind of puts you in a cloud of problems of your own making. And, or so much, even if you go all the way back in, it's the whole creation of government is looking for a savior, someone to make things better. So it's always been this need of someone fixing things for us is why we had to go through all these lessons. And it's not just like, humans, or it's like all these different lessons are played out in all these different ages, so that they're all things that we can learn as the expansion of the universe. So it's all important stuff. It's not like anybody's doing anything wrong, or, oh, well, if we would have just turned right. No, we were supposed to turn left. We were supposed to go down this path. We were supposed to experience this as part of the universe's growth, as part of the universe's expansion, as part of the overall lessons. So your gem thing, and all your multi-facets of who you are. See, and then you've got to see all of the beauty, but of you, the overall, the parts of you that came from all different lives, all different places, different experiences is what formed you. It gave you all those facets. And that's what, like, in this life, we're like focused so heavily on this one facet, but there's so many that make you who you are. And you can't just focus on one and think that that's everything, because it's all of them. But then you have the driver inside, the soul, it's the viewer, the one that can focus. It's always been shown to me about this focus. Is where your reality, what we think of as a reality, is where you're focused, where your energy is focused. So you have the focus of, whatever life you're looking at, whatever existence you're looking at. And it's like you can look at it, and it is like, it's something about this being birthed into it and going into the experience. And so then you get to experience it. You get to feel it. But you still have this, this sidewinder over here, this with your soul. It's like the parrot on the shoulder of the pirate. And so it's trying to direct. And that is what they have figured out here in this realm of how to get the focus to be the parrot on the shoulder. To just keep the attention of the parrot on the shoulder. So then that the squawking so loud that it just causes confusion. And they call that interference with that Wi-Fi connection. And so you are not following your best lead. That's why you got to do the ego work, because they've been able to manipulate the ego and to create this shallow, superficial, because, everybody could have, went on a couple of gross dates and then said, oh, this is gross, but people just went in harder on it. Yeah, people have gone so in the direction of why have morals? That's a burden. I don't need to think about what I do. I don't want to feel bad ever. It's like, oh, it's like a completely immoral society that was created. But, like I said, there's a lot of souls who wanted to come for that experience. So even when you're sitting here thinking all these horrible things, why would anybody come? It's because of, and everybody's purpose of playing roles in the universe and stuff. And it's like, why wouldn't you? You would always be going in the experience. It's just this weird how you can, it's like all your facets of who you are that is like you're your own universe. And then, but it's weird because then, it's like this micro macro, because then that part is as important as all those are to you, your identity, that the universe needs all of ours for its identity. So it's like this, that's why I said there's like so much more going all the time than what we think. There's so much, even down to the microcosm, even down to the parasitic energy of, that's its own universe too. Everything is its own universe. It's trippy. Some of these visuals are so trippy. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's cool. Cool visuals all the time. That's one thing too. I don't know. Was I not paying as attention as well before? Like, I don't know. And now am I just more focused on it? And or is it just because the communication has changed because of all of this huge stuff that's going on? So it has changed a lot. Like, the talking, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Because definitely when I was a kid, some of the stuff that they would tell me, it's like I guess I was asking though, because, my mom would take me to church and then start talking about Adam and Eve or something, and then they would start telling me. So they were always telling me things that were different than what we were being told. So I, like, there was certain things that, like, I knew. Oh, man, I don't even know. It's a weird thing when you try and go back and you try and see. Because there's so many things I was saying all the time. Even trying to tell my mom and stuff. And I would just be like, oh, no. And I would be like, yeah, but that's what they told me. And it would always be like, I mean, I still have people. Who are they? Who are they? You're just your thoughts? You think you're thinking? It's like, stop thinking. They tell me things I don't know. How could I be thinking thoughts I don't know? No, someone's telling me. And how many times I've had to have this argument, and it's like, no wonder. It's because nobody else was having it. Everybody else was like not having all of this. Somebody telling them things and explaining things to them through life. Like, I thought we all were. I thought we were all on that same thing. And I don't know if that's like a wave. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like, the things that they have shown me and told me. But, we'll see how it plays out. I'll say again, I'll say if this is what they told me or didn't, I'll say how things play out. Because it's whatever it happens, it happens in this shift. This shift is where we're all going to have things that are going to turn. So that is where we'll see. That's where we all see our truth, and, I don't know. I mean, maybe my truth is my family's going to be mad that they think I'm not doing anything. They think I'm talking to 2 or 3 people, and that they're going to be mad that I ever said anything about the stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm allowed to talk about my own life, my own reality of what I'm experiencing. And also, I feel like anybody who has come in contact with me that I have talked about, I feel like that it is, it's like it's written. It's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to hide and stuff. If something is just eating at me and eating at me, I'm supposed to talk about it. I'm supposed to say about it. Is what, it's like trying to bring in other information, and you can see why it's needed. Like, you can see this. Like, I'm so fucking blown away right now on TikTok. It's like, I can't even stomach it. I can't even handle it. Like, like, I haven't been barely posting. I just don't even really want anything to do with it. It is, but, it's like, it's during this shifting and stuff, but oh my God, it is like every fucking, you have to go through like 5 videos of people selling things to get to one video of somebody talking about something. And then it's just like everybody's just trying to sell themselves. It's just like this, it's like I feel like I'm walking through the red district. It's like so gross. Fucking all these people, that have big accounts and stuff, just lip syncing or, what was the other? Or selling, everybody's selling something off TikTok Shop. So TikTok Shop must give, if you do your video as a commercial, and any sales that you get off of it, you get money off of it or something. I'm not sure what they've got going. It is so fucking crusty on. Everybody's just out trying to get something, trying to get money. Everybody's telling you about a product. And everybody's, oh, TikTok Shop, oh, viral TikTok Shop. And it's so gross. It is like, no, I do not like commercials. And everybody on here is turned into a fucking commercial. And so you have to go through so many videos to get to see anything. It's like, oh my God, this is too fucking much. And then you got to also go through a fucking dog rescue and cooking things. The cooking things. This is really, really bugging me. Like, I swear to God, is something wrong in people's minds. Like, okay, I'm going to make this 2-ingredient cake, and I'm going to show you how it's done. And I swear to motherfucking God, they get out a cake mix. All these motherfucking people think they are cooking by using cake mixes. All these, like, there's people out there doing recipes all using, we use this cake mix, and then also get this cake mix, get the brownie mix, get this cookie mix. And then what? You add coconut oil, you add some butter, and throw it all in together and top it with marshmallows and nuts, and you just created a monster. It's like, this is absurd. Like, people used to actually cook. Like, they used to actually make the mix. Like, it's like baking powder, flour, and sugar. And the thing is with the cake mixes that they add all these fucking extra ingredients, and they add something called palm oil that's really bad, and it's really bad how they get it. It's really destructive to the planet. And so they, but you take that cake mix, turn it around, how many ingredients are on there? So when you're saying 2, you're forgetting to count all the ones on the back of the box. It's fucking so goddamn annoying. I'm going to make this 5-ingredient thing. I'm just not going to mention all these ingredients. Well, sounds like you are kind of going how the government thinks, aren't you? Like, be real. Like, you're making, and then I'm like, okay, so maybe ingredient is being used wrong, because how many things they are adding, they think that that's just the ingredients they're adding, but they're just overlooking all of these other ingredients that are in the things that they're adding. And this isn't just cake mixes. I've seen other recipe people where they pull out, to make their 3-ingredient thing, they pull out something that's got 15 ingredients in it. It's like, this is mental. I can't believe this is the way people cook. Like, it's crazy. I don't even think people, like how I've started cooking and stuff, like baking bread from scratch, making beans, making hummus. Then it's making it from the hard beans. It's making everything from scratch, making a cake, making brownies, making any of those breads or any of that stuff. It's making it from the flour, baking powder, sugar, and all that. All that other stuff is full of fucking poison. So, fuck. I see those videos. It's like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. What the hell? And, but then it's like, okay, well, at least they're cooking. At least they're trying to get people to cook. Like, start at least with a box and open a box and start there. And that's, turn on the oven, butter your pan, and put your ingredients in and cook it. Like, at least that's a step off of, but they better hurry up and start stepping, because a lot of this artificial food and shit is going to be gone. You're going to need to know how to cook more basic, I think. Basic ingredients, not just, open a can. I don't even like canned beans or any of that stuff anymore. It's just, ugh. And there's so many ingredients. And so that's one thing too, as you are going through this development, this awakening, there's so many things that change. Like, I think a lot of these people are hyper focused on the government. They're not sitting there just worried about their food, and so they may worry about some stuff with medical, but they still drop everything in 2 seconds and run to the doctor for anything, the hospital or whatever. But it's a step down. I'm not, I know Vortex just went to the top. I'm not saying, like, don't ever go. You have to do what feels right to you. It's all about, don't do something because of me. But I'm saying, as this awakening goes, everybody starts kind of going in the same direction. It's like you're pulling free from all of those things. You're moving towards an independent state of nature rather than a dependent of where they've, controlled and took us over. Like, where they do have our chemical makeup. They can attack certain things, and and they're always like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we do this. Let's see what happens if we do that. Because they're always trying to, they think, like, when you watch these old movies, they think that they are doing better for mankind. They're trying to learn and help us to grow and become adaptable and all this weirdo fucking, but that isn't go with God. That's not nature. Like, that's like trying to manifest your fortune and think that you're spiritual. It is, no, there's a trust. It's about trust. There's an evolution that occurs naturally. You don't need to go in and try and step in and take care of it. That's where they start competing with God, and they want to try and, I don't know, make the world they want it to be. But it's, all of this stuff is just, it's like unholy. Like, they don't have any thought of nature or something. They've got to go in and change it. Like, there was this girl who I had met along my journey over the past few years, and we were talking. There would be these groups of people that will talk about this twin flame thing, and it's like this soul entanglement that happens. To me, it's like all of a sudden you just see this person. It's like, oh my God, I've got to talk to this person. It's the weirdest thing. And, but you're just, it's like overwhelming. You've got to talk to him. You've got to talk to him. And, I've been waiting a few years for this conversation, hoping that that's coming soon. We'll see. But, in this thing, and mine has all been about spiritual. Like, you don't try and control, you relax. And so you've got to relax into things, and then what lessons are being shown to you are the lessons you're supposed to be learning. But in the thing, I had met somebody, and they were trying to control it. They were going and showing up and all sorts of wacky stuff. And they would know where the person was going to be. Like, there's a real psychic connection and shit. and they would show up there. And so I had said one time about, this being spiritual and about healing and stuff, and they thought I was so wacky. They were like, why wouldn't just leave this to the universe? They thought it was the wackiest thing they'd ever heard. And so, it's all different perspectives and stuff. But I was like, how strange to be on this really spiritual encounter. Like, it's your soul that has the recognition, but then to not acknowledge the soul's existence of why it would have the recognition, what's going on, what's happening here. So, but that just is such a strong pull or a hold on people with the control. And it goes along with being the victim too. Those things are like riding hand in hand. They're in the same cart. That needing to control, because you are the victim. Which, when you let go of control, it doesn't mean you're never going to feel like a victim. I've had people do a lot of shitty things to me. A lot of shitty things. And, but I'm not a vengeful person. I'm not somebody who feels like you need to go get even, which I saw another motherfucking thing about that. Another spiritual one telling people, go out there and get your vengeance and take revenge on people. This is the time. It was like, okay, so all these people out here saying they're teaching spirituality. It's not spiritual. Like, your spiritual side would not be doing anything to hurt anybody else. And even when other people hurt you, you understand that the universe, there's a bigger thing going on. And you always are getting a view of yourself. So if you're vengeful and hateful and vindictive, that is where you're going to be seeing yourself. It's showing to other people. You're going to see. It's going to become clear to you. So, but there's like all these people who are not focused on the bigger picture of the awakening. They're all focused on like the little things, which to me too, there's all these people sharing all the time, these press conferences, and the darker skinned girl whose hair grows out, she is so fucking annoying to me. I swear to motherfucking God. She is just there to annoy people. I can't watch her for more than a second before I want to just go and fucking knock her. Like, that is, I can't watch. She pisses me the fuck off. She's so condescending, and she's such a fucking liar. She's a smooth ass liar. She doesn't even flinch. And it's disgusting. And I think it's kind of funny, that one reporter, because I swear to God, he used to be a total dick. I think he was a total dick to Trump or something. And then he, but it's like, was he a plant? Because now, I don't know. There's a whole thing about that guy. So anyways, I don't know. All of it is such a big show. And she's so fucking annoying. And I don't know, but the news and stuff. Oh yeah, and somebody did share a clip the other day. Was the news station. I think it was Newsmax. And he was reporting, and he said, he called it the Republic. He didn't say the United States of America. He called it the Republic. We're the Republic. And that keeps being up on all sorts of things. I'm pretty sure Scavino has said it. Like, that's coming out more and more. And I think that had to do something about, well, I mean, that is a part of Trump's executive orders anyways, was making it into back to the Republic. And then it's going to kind of even dissolve more out of the, I think it would be kind of like you were under an umbrella, but it's not going to be governed. So it's going to be freedom. But, but there's going to be so many changes to the landscape. So who knows how it's going to, like, I was really surprised when I went in and was looking. I was like, fuck, all of Europe is going to be gone. But, Europe is so old and has so much history. So if they are trying to, like, if the planet, like, if you think about the landmass being its own entity, its own being, and rolling over, the the part that has been up and exposed for the longest makes sense to go under and start exposing another part. But it looked like all of Europe was mostly going down. There'll be some islands out there. And then, but there's going to be a lot with Africa is going to still be big. Brazil is going to be big. There's parts of America, but it's going to be separated. And then I think Canada is still attached. But I think that there's things that come in, like Vancouver is going to go with Seattle and stuff. So I don't know. And who knows of which things. I mean, those remote viewers said by 2040 it had already changed. So it's going to be changing over the next few years with volcanoes and earthquakes and stuff. I think there's going to be big changes over the next few months. So that's why I think, I swear, when I hear the news reports of California, to me, it's like they are doing this moral evacuation. Like, if you don't want the government to take your children, then, you know, you need to move to a different state. And so I swear, it's like pushing people in a certain direction. Like, if you have morals, then this is it's time to go home. You can kind of move. But you know, there's more triggers that are going to happen. And even when the disasters start happening, there's going to be heroes. So even if you have family members that are staying out there, because I do, and one of them's a fireman, and so there's going to be heroes that are going to be out there that are going to, you know, everybody's got their own soul stuff going. So for people who aren't evacuating and moving and leaving California, don't sit and stress and stuff about it. Because you got to keep remembering, everybody's right where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and the different things. And maybe, you know, they're not going to go when the news keeps saying to go, and then they're gonna, because a lot, I can't believe, I mean, I've still got grandkids in school, so all this shit that keeps going down in schools and stuff is like, man, what does it take? Ugh. But so many people are all the time like, well, you have to send them to school. You don't have a choice. You'll be arrested if you don't. So you know, there's a compliancy always. They always are waving their big old hairy rotten dick in our face, like, telling us the way it's going to be. And but we have to be the ones who stand up. And now I'm sure that the home place, the loan place, has got my letter by now. It should for sure have gotten it yesterday, I would think. So now we'll see what's their next thing, because now that I have said they've got to cease and desist, they've got to take me off of all their lists, they've got to send me my deed. I'm a living being. They're going against my human rights and stuff. So we'll see. You know, they can still be, you know, this wackadoo lady. To me, if I got a letter like that, I would think there's got to be other stuff going on in the world, in this person's life. They've got to have something going on with family, with friends. They've got to. Like, how strange. So I'm hoping that they get the letter and that they start going like, fuck, you know, something's going on, and start looking at it, and that energy passes through, you know, and expands. That's what I'm hoping. But I don't know, you know, we'll see. But I know if they start trying to fight me, which they said I had 90 days, which that's, a lot's going to happen over 90 days. And I already feel like we're already the republic. There's not the fringe on the flag. This is all a big show. We already don't have debt. The only ones that are keeping it going are the ones that are still going to work, who still are keeping this stuff going. But it's already been taken away. Debt's been taken away. There's all these big arrests happening. So if they do try and harass me, my thing would be to call military. That's who I would try and get to be on my side, because the cops and stuff aren't. They're on the side of who pays their checks. They just don't realize that those are dictators, so that they are working in, you know, a brown shirt region of life. And so those, they follow orders, and it's wacky. Some of the videos and stuff I've seen of, like, shit is just getting wackier and wackier. It's just going to keep getting wackier and wackier, because that's the only way. Like, it's got to. Just like when you see that press secretary. I mean, she's so fucking ridiculous. But it's got to just keep getting wackier and wackier, because there's still people just tuning in and talking about it and discussing it, and they're just all outraged. And it's like, oh my God, you guys, this show is just getting so stupid. And y'all just keep hanging on every word and taking it so serious. It's like wacky, man. So it's like there has to be this big, like, clap, this big, like, snap the fingers and wake people up. People are so just consumed by the things that scare them. And I don't know, that sound. It's weird that I didn't even get it at all. That really weirds me out. Like, I didn't get it at all. Like, were they targeting certain houses? Like, ugh. And the more that we give them to follow us, the more lot numbers and stuff. But they got, like, you bet your ass, like, there's fucking some computer thing that has everything about me in there. And they program those computers. And then they get these weirdo mad scientists and stuff. And then they target people. And so, fuck, I don't know if they did do something with that sound that is doing something in some people's bodies and is mantling or dismantling or doing something. I don't know. I didn't hear anything, but I don't even know what all's in my body. Like, maybe that was my guidance or my protection, because maybe I don't have any idea. Just all this stuff, it just is weird. It's just weird. And all I know is that whatever's happening to you is supposed to be happening to you. So just whatever is happening, don't be scared or get all caught up or think something else is supposed to be happening. That's what fucks us all the time, is we think we're in the wrong life. We're having the wrong experience. No, you're having the experience you're supposed to have. It's there to learn, to teach you. You're learning in your experience. So you're supposed to be having the experience you have. And we're not all having the same experiences. Just like over here, where I'm sure they're fucking dumping some sort of poison on us. I don't know what it is. Like the headache, all these symptoms. But I'm seeing other people now saying about these symptoms and stuff. And so I think it's definitely a part of their whatever. To me, I kept thinking that they do things out here, call it allergies or whatever, and then call it a flu or whatever, and then get all these people to go into the doctor. That's all they want to do, is just try and get people to go into the doctor. And, it's also creepy, is a girl who just went and got these things for her 7-month-old. And the girl who came out and was asking was really concerned about what her insurance was, because it's two different, for the poorer people, they get it out of one insurance thing. And for the ones who have a private insurance, they get it out of a different one. See, and people can't hide this stuff. The truth is coming out. It'll slip out. It's just like, they won't even realize what they're saying. And that's the universal action that's happening. Is the hand of God is coming in, and people can't hide stuff anymore. It's being revealed all around. And, in the one big arrest in Ohio, too, it was like school teacher, professor, all sorts of stuff. And then where the news people are like, all these regular people. Just wait. Just wait. It's going to get so much. Oh my gosh, that's one place. That's probably one fucking party. It's going to go, God, it's going to get hairy. It's going to get intense. And people just don't realize either how impactful the death penalty is for all this stuff. And also crimes against humanity, that is going to be, it's going to have so much to do with what you're involved with. Like, how severe were your crimes? How many things were you overlooking? And it really does kind of seem like, it's the moral people are the ones that are going to stick around. Like the people who have morals, who care about other people and stuff. That's the people who are going to be the seeders of the age of Aquarius. That energy, you know. So if you're, like I keep saying, if you question yourself, if you find yourself just being super negative and hateful and blaming and all of that kind of stuff, keep keep going into yourself and trying to release those, the anger and the resentment, and try and go back to the source of it. Try and find its birthplace so that you can let it go. And because that energy is the one that holds you back. This immoral, it's a certain way of thinking, of accepting toxic things, accepting certain behaviors and stuff. So, and I don't know all of the different souls things and their lessons and all the stuff going on, but the energy that it would be going forward into the age of Aquarius will be all about love and morals and independence and self-care. Like, you don't need to have someone else take care of you to feel good about yourself. You're able to take care of your own needs and take care of yourself, because although that has been a part of our society, it's been toxic, it's been draining to whoever the person is who's carrying the relationship. It's too much, it's draining. It has to be equal partnerships. There has to be equality in our way of living. We can't put ourselves off on someone else to carry our weight. We have to be willing to carry our own. And if we're troubled by something, we have to learn how to heal it, how to come up with better responses, how to, just like on the walks with Stella, my challenges, the challenge. And some days are way harder than other days. Some days it's like, fuck, especially when I'm out there and I'll smell some smell, and then all of a sudden I'll feel lightheaded, and I'm like, fuck, this is so motherfucking fucked. And I'll just out there like, God damn it, can you please hurry up? That was yesterday. And then, and I felt so shitty for so many days. It's like, fuck, it's so fucked. And a headache and just all the fucking joints, all that whole body aches. It's like, oh my God. And Stella's got 2 ginormous cyst things on her. And so I was putting some castor oil on them, and I was trying to really rub and really get, and they're like these most puffy little like balloon things on her. But I know that is toxins trying to get out of her body. So it's just weird. They just load us down some over here where I'm at. I know they do it on all different places. Like, we're all getting all different things happening to us. But it's like, fuck, it's so goddamn exhausting. I just can't wait until we get to the next part. It's like, oh my God, how long? Like, Wall Street obviously didn't fucking crash this week, or we'd have a bunch of people out whining and crying. That's what I see. It's like nobody's whining and crying about it, so it just drags on and on. So whatever is going to go, it's going to go. It's already gone. The whole thing is just this big show. I know debt is already gone. We've already switched to Republic. However it's going to go. Now, if Trump is going to be the speaker on Tuesday or something, now he's saying he will be the speaker. But I don't know if this is like, well, they still have to vote him in, and if they're going to make that into a big drama, so then you can see who the bad people are who are against him. Like, oh my God, all this stuff just goes and goes and goes. Isn't there an easier way? But I guess the quantum computer said this is the best way to get people to understand and have it play out, so people can see it play out, so that it sinks in, so it helps them wake up. So it's annoying, but you just gotta, it's an individual battle. I'm to take the battle on the financial one with them, however it goes. And so we'll just see. I don't think it's going to, I think that there's going to be obvious here quick. I think some everything is going to be crashing. I still say they got to have this financial crash under Joe. And, and I don't know if it's going to be, they're going to put Trump in as speaker, and then he's going to start pointing a bunch of stuff out and try and stop stuff, and they're going to make a big drama, and, who knows how they're going to play this shit out. But it's when all that stuff starts going, that's when we're going to start seeing the big changes happening. It is the energy. It's like this breaking through the energy. It's just like, it feels like it's being stretched out, but it's going to like stretch out. It's going to go fly back. So depending on what your energy you've been putting out, it's going to feel the impact. However, what you've been putting out is going to come back towards you. So if you've been being a total asshole to people, and when I'm seeing some people, fuck, they're just being total dicks to people, that energy is going to come back and hit them hard. And they're going to see that side of themselves. They'll probably have to go into some sort of isolation, dark night, to have to get over this hateful side of themselves. But you want to get over these hateful sides of yourself, because that is the wave of the future. That is where we're headed. We're going through all this to get us to be able to freely love, to not have to people please, to not have to have people please us, to be able to love people just because they're them. Just allow them to be them. And another thing too that I'm, with all of this, the giants and all this stuff about our DNA and stuff. And I've seen some more people that are a very strange mutation that very much reminds me of, like the girl who looks like the hedgehog. There's other ones that look like these other things, which, also is about the science experiments that they have been doing and trying to create mutants all the time. But also, there's such a part of the DNA of all these different beings and stuff. And what I think is cool is how so many of them are almost like mythical creatures or something. Like these beings are coming back into our existence, which I think when you see some of these pictures from the 1800s, some of those giants look like, people look very different, like I think that there was people who, I think that we probably interacted with aliens and stuff back then and didn't think anything about it. And that's what we're going to go back into, where somebody looks, it's not going to matter so much. Like this, there's a certain kind of humanoid representation that's like from the Anunnaki, from the Pleiadian, like there's different groups that have that, but there's also all these different other ones. So all of these different people who have got these mutations and stuff, it's kind of like it's coming out to kind of show us, but that they seem to be such confident, really cool spiritual people, that it seems like it is because they accept themselves. It moves all of society into an acceptance, which gives us back to where we were, always accepting all these different beings. I don't know how they got us to be so, focused on this beauty standard. They pushed always with this beauty standard thing. But, we got to let go of all of that stuff, and just everyone is beautiful in their own way. And everyone has different things about them that make them beautiful. And so it's getting to notice, well, for one thing, people can't even notice their own beauty because they get caught up in themselves. Like, I don't look like the beauty standard, so therefore I'm ugly. And they can't even see their own beauty. And so that's a whole journey in itself. But for all of us to begin to see the value of every human, not just the ones who are more appealing to our eyes, and to even recognize that whoever's appealing to our eyes, that's just an eye appeal. That's just something that is appealing to us. It isn't it's not a connection to the depth of what we need. We used to think if somebody was appealing to us, well, that must mean that we're supposed to be with them. That's our true love right there. And now it's going into, no, you got to have some deeper. That's why I keep trying to say you got to work on you. The deeper you become, the more, evolved that you become, the more evolved your person is going to be too. Like, you want to be satisfied with yourself still being all, crusty, then you're going to get a crusty partner. So if you want to keep working on you and developing yourself, then you're going to become involved with somebody who is also highly developed, who also cares about themselves and stuff. So, wherever you stop, there will be somebody who will meet you at that bus stop. But the journey is always towards your highest development of self, which is, true to yourself. It's not hiding yourself, being true to your beliefs, but also being accepting of others, of who they are and where they're coming from, So, anyways, it's all just like a development that we go through. And through all of this, we have all this opportunity to be developing. I think that's what everything keeps happening for, is to keep showing you the areas that you need to work on yourself, what you need to do so that you can feel better. And, but to me, it's like, fuck, I can't even handle going on TikTok right now. I feel like all these people are just sold out. Everybody's just a sellout now, and that's not spiritual. Spiritual, like, money is falling apart, and it's like all these people are holding on to it. Well, let's just keep trading it. I really would like some more of it, and people always, oh, thank you so much for just giving me your money and keeping me supported, so they can just go on and lip sync all day or something. It's just like, and people just give them money to do it. And I don't know, it just is such a shallow, superficial side of society that is purging out, and it's like, ooh, TikTok is drenched with it. So, and it's been like that for days or weeks or something for me. So I don't know, I'll probably go on today, but I definitely can't go on for very long without just like turning my stomach. I start to get irritated, and it's like, I'm not going to do this to myself. And another thing too is, I saw yesterday, I've got all these little hairs that are growing, not just right here, but right here I have a bunch that are sticking up. And because I kept wondering why this part of this hair was sticking up. So then I started thinking, well, that's weird. So, like, was it falling out back and I didn't notice? And it's this screen stuff because I've seen so many things. That's one thing too. It's on the news now. Now the news is talking about it because everybody's hair's falling out. It's just so funny how it's just all right here. Everybody's hair's falling out right here. Right here. Right where you're facing this thing. Right where it's beating radiation into your fucking face. And everybody's hair is falling out right here. It's just so strange. We just don't get it. We just don't understand what's happening. But we got a pill for it. We got a great pill. Luckily, we got scientists who are just on our side, developing these wonderful pills. And then we got these wonderful people like Will, and what's the fuck? I mean, he's willing to go up and slap somebody to get attention. And the fucking, what's her name? That whole thing was all a big thing. Yeah, because she is the representative for the goddamn pill on baldness. It's so, but, there's a lot of these people who go up and play their parts, and they could say no. Like, I think that they could say no. I think there's a lot of actors who say, no, I'm retired now. I'm not doing this. Who was it? Captain America, even the other day. He walked down on all that big box office shit and said, no, I don't want to be involved with it. I think there's a lot. That's why, these people get all paranoid and think of the whole of Hollywood was all evil. No, there's evil everywhere. There's evil in DC. There's evil in Hollywood. There's evil in every goddamn town. There's evil under the airports. There's evil everywhere. It was all around us. It was like not just condensed areas. They were all around us, everywhere. There was pockets of them. There was people who were there to interfere, to keep the control of the world. Like, there was tons of people who were going to Hollywood to make it, wanted to be entertainers, grew up on entertainment, wanted to be entertainers, and went in there to do it. And they, got used. The people who are funding it were all wanted to, it was all about controlling us. And then when you go in and watch these old movies and you see, it's like, fuck, it was from the start. It was from the start. They didn't just start using it. They didn't go, well, let's make entertainment. Let's just entertain people and put these boxes in their houses so that we can, I don't know, keep them at home, keep them, like, I don't know what people thought. But you go back and watch them, it's fucking programming, indoctrinating the whole fucking time. From the beginning of a fucking first movie was the program to manipulate, to control people's minds. So the whole motherfucking thing. And so all these people who were going to try and be in the movies and stuff, like, I mean, some of the things, even while I'll see some of these girls do in these movies where I'm like, man, it's questionable. Like, they had to be going against their own morals all the motherfucking time. So what are you going against your morals for? Money. You do anything for money. You can go against yourself for money. And so they started, doing that. And then and the absurdity too, the big amounts of money that they would give some people. Some people, do the same thing. You can have two people do the same thing, but depending on their size of their audience, the size of their following, depends on how much they get paid for it. So somebody can get paid, $6,000 for something that somebody else is getting paid $10 million for. It's just, all of it is just so absurd. Everything. But people have to, question the absurdity. And they have to also recognize their own role in order to question the absurdity. Otherwise, they got to stay comfortable with the absurdity. But now things have become so absurd. It's revolting. I swear. It is the great revolt. So, I don't know. Yeah, this weekend probably more shit's going to go. I mean, it's just going like crazy. So, whatever is going to go, is going to go. However they're going to do this, however it's going to be, because Joe's going to go down. Come on, all of them. They're going to go down. There's going to be a switch of power. There's going to be, everything's going to switch around. There's tons and tons more rest to go, tons and tons of people to go down, tons of things for people to realize. So we got so much still to go. But I think that still, they got to get the money to go down under Joe. So I feel like that is going to be our first thing, even though it's already gone down. That my stomach's just growling like crazy, little motherfucking parasites. It has got to publicly go down under Joe, because it's all about this big public thing. It's about getting the public to see things, what they are trying to get them to see. And it's kind of like backpedaling, though, to try and undo what's been done. So even though it seems like they're manipulating people, they're trying to unmanipulate. They're trying to untie their mind. So to get them to open their mind to see the stuff. So anyways, we got to see, the money's got to go down. And Joe is got to be shown as being the one who was so corrupt and so criminal and such a money laundering son of a bitch, that, and such a pervo, that he's got to, all that stuff. So, and I think I still think that there's going to be a huge amount of changes over the next couple of weeks. And I don't know, obviously they know what they're doing about this money thing, how it keeps dragging out or whatever. Maybe it is just as soon as you stand up to them, it's like a video game, and then it's gone. We'll see. We'll see how much, I have to still stand up to them. But even if, whatever I go through, whatever my experience is, that's my lessons. You could go and do this exact same thing and go through a totally different experience. This is, we all have our own experiences, and we have to follow our own guidance. You have to listen to what you feel on the inside, what you feel like you're being told or shown, where you need to go, what you need to do. And it's more of that fine-tuning the communication. It doesn't even matter so much about, if you did it, if you got done, you should have done it sooner, you should have heard sooner. None of that. It's more on you developing yourself, you developing your communication, you developing your understanding, and all of that. So it's all this fine tuning yourself. So don't get hard on yourself or beat yourself down or be mad at yourself as you should have done this sooner, you should have done that sooner, you should have seen this sooner or that or whatever. No, you're seeing right what you're supposed to see, right when you're supposed to see it. And keep in mind, too, that that's the same for all the other people who haven't seen yet, that they still have to go through their part of seeing, and they're doing it exactly at the right time they're supposed to. So we are not supposed to stand in judgment of how they awaken, when they awaken, or what awakens them. Although, to, any of us watching, it's like, oh my God, this is so horrible. This is like the most immoral, disgusting place. And people still want to keep it going. It's like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. So anyways, I don't know what's going to go today. It's over here. It's just like, fuck, I don't even want to go outside because I keep feeling like I'm just breathing in some sort of like being gassed or something. And then it was the same thing of, like, it was so hard to wake up. Oh my God. And Stella woke me up a couple times. I still feel so out of it. And I feel just, man, my head, I just feel super out of it. And I'm definitely going to probably try and go sleep more today. But, I mean, there's nothing really, this is kind of like waiting for everything to just go off. It's like, I've got nowhere to go. I'm supposed to babysit in a couple of weeks and go somewhere. And I keep on thinking, is it, going to go off before then? But how many times did I think shit was going to go down before I left on my trip? And it was still going. It was like, oh my God, it's going to be the weekend that I go. And then there's going to be no way to get gas or whatever. And you're going to be trapped wherever you are. I don't know. I'm so sick of that. It's like, I swear to God, it's like that Princess Bride thing where he's like, if I had the poison and I put the poison in here, then you would think I would put the poison over there, but I would put the poison over there because I think, the whole thing. That's what it feels like. It's like exhausting in your mind. If, I don't think we could outsmart them. The only thing you can do is just keep taking care of yourself. Whatever they do, the poisoning or whatever happens, the sicknesses, whatever they're dumping on you or in your area, you just got to keep taking care of yourself and taking care of yourself. It's fucking exhausting. This is like one after another. It's like the same with the storms. It's just like this constant beat down. Confirmation. Anyways, so I don't know. Just whatever the day brings, just stay safe and just keep on working on, your faith and stuff. And watch for those little signs, like being referred to as a republic, not having fringe on the flag, listen to when some of these judges are talking and what they're exposing when they say certain things about maritime law. And we've got this whole thing right now going on with these pirates right off of San Francisco. That's going to help people understand more about the law of the land and the law of the sea and how they've tried to keep us under the law of the sea. And so, people haven't thought a lot about pirates. There's pirates that go on over by Africa in those seas between, it can be really dangerous. But so it's going on over here by San Francisco now. But that, I think, will be a part of the understanding about, the straw man and about our birth certificates, about the sea and their whole thing. Because it's kind of like these things keep happening to kind of bring stuff to the surface. So, I mean, all of a sudden, pirates out of the blue. At the same time, we've got all this stuff with maritime law and all of this. So, anyways, to me, it's just like watch the signs, watch the universe do its work, watch as things are playing out, and as things come at you, just go and sit with yourself to figure out your actions, what you need to do, what you need to take care of and stuff. and don't feel rushed and pushed, just like, well, I have to move, um, out of fear. Like, listen to yourself. Man, there's so many things. It's such a fine line, because you don't want to just be running around out of fear, because that will be your lesson that things will find you. You can't run from fear. It will find you. So it is, keep yourself calm, but also be aware of the places that are being evacuated, and notice and know, and look at the map and stuff, especially if you're looking for places that you want to go someplace, you want to get somewhere safe, and there's a lot of shit going on in your area. Look for places on the map that seem safe, and look for other people or something to go start trying to form communities or something. There's going to be a big change. Like, once we get through this part, once the money starts going, the money goes and the government starts going, there's going to be big changes in where people are going or whatever. Like, who knows how. And I did hear something too that was brought up, just like what I had been saying about human rights. All these people who are out there fighting against these people for their human rights. It's like, you guys, we're going into human rights. Don't keep trying to fight for your rights against other humans. Human rights. Like, that I can just see. That is everything is to expose what's inside of you to you. So all the things going on is to expose you to you, so you can see yourself, so you can heal yourself, so you can do better for yourself, so you can make the changes you want to make for yourself. So that is, that's what's happening. So anyways, I'm just going to go. I feel like I'm just keep saying the same thing or something. So anyways, hopefully, everybody's having okay time. I know this is like, you can't be like, have a great day. It's kind of like insanity. The whole world's burning down, but have a good day. No, you got to just, stay with the flow, feel your real emotions, feel how you're really feeling. If you feel scared, feel it. Don't hide from it. If you feel sad, feel it. If you feel all of your things, you don't hide. That's low vibration, just to judge and say that, oh, well, if you feel sad, then you're low vibration. Well, shouldn't you feel your feelings? Aren't your feelings there to be felt? So isn't that low vibration to try and not feel your feelings? So feel your feelings, whatever you're going through. Don't hold back from, even if you feel fear, feel it. Feel what it feels like. And, go through it. Think about it. Think your way through it, because there's always logic behind it. You have to go and walk yourself through it, just like, where people are scared of spiders. Well, when you go into the logic of it, who should be scared, the spider or you? So, a lot of our fears are outlandish like that. They're just ridiculous. We fear things that we don't need to fear, but it's in our own attitude. It's our own psyche. It's us letting ourselves get out of control. So once you can reel it in, because any of this stuff, if it's, I don't know what people are scared of. People are scared of being poisoned. There's nothing we can do about it. And there's just a lot of things that there's nothing you can do about it. So you got to find peace. You got to find peace in yourself so that you can feel okay. And to me, it's like, yeah, we're being poisoned, but I'm just going to keep taking care of myself and do the best. Having the awareness to know that I'm being poisoned and I need to take care of myself is valuable to me. So, that we all have to figure out our own maneuver through all of this stuff. And don't be hard. Don't forget, the universe is relying on your unique perspective. It relies on your way of seeing things. So don't feel bad about what you see and how you experience it. Just, go through, acknowledge it, but always just go in and question yourself more. That's how you heal and grow. Just ask yourself questions and then be willing to look at yourself raw, see yourself, in the rawest part of yourself. And remember, it's not just you. It's just there's a co-pilot, there's a lot of attachment, there's a lot of business going on. So it's not just you. You're not this person that you think you are, probably. You're probably a way nicer person than you think you are. Because these dark entities, they're pretty mean. They're pretty mean. So anyways, you work on you and I'll go work on me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.